Today I'm sharing how I cleaned and repaired this trashed, ripped canvas painting step by step. This isn't a museum level restoration, far from it, but it doesn't need to be. This is a DIY friendly rescue, and if you love thrift art and trashed art as much as I do, this tutorial's for you. Hi, I'm Denise from Salvaged Inspirations. Welcome back to my furniture painting DIY decor channel. Let's get started. If you've been around Salvaged Inspirations and the YouTube channel for any length of time, you know I have a thing for tossed aside treasures and art. So today I'm combining the two. Full disclaimer, I've never done a canvas repair or cleaning like this before, but I was hoping to make this floral art look good again because I had the perfect spot in my bedroom where I really wanted to hang this piece. This large floral canvas painting and frame was left out curbside. I'm guessing the people had a garage sale, and these were the pieces that did not sell. I loved the painting and the frame. It was gorgeous, and I thought if I can't fix up the painting, because it looked pretty rough, at least I'd have a beautiful frame. This painting had such a vintage pretty vibe, but it had 2 tears in the canvas, and it also looked like something had been spilled onto it and stained it. Before touching anything, I took a good look at the painting to assess the damage and the condition of the piece. And again, it had a layer of grime all over it, a yellow surface spill dulling the colors, and 2 small tears in the canvas. But the good news was the paint itself was stable. There was no flaking, no cracking. The cleaning and repair method I used works for both oil and acrylic paintings, but it's still helpful to know what you're working with before you start. Oil paintings usually look richer and slightly glossier with raised brush strokes, while acrylic paintings tend to look flatter and feel a little more plastic-like. So if you're unsure, you can lightly dab a hidden area with a damp cotton swab. Acrylic paintings may often soften or lift with the water on your cotton swab, while oil paintings won't react to water at all. You can also check if a painting is oil by dipping a cotton swab into acetone, and that's often found in nail polish remover, and rubbing it in an inconspicuous area. Acetone will lift oil-based paint. Water will not. After I assessed the painting, it was time to start the cleaning process, and I started with a dry clean. I took a fuzzy, soft duster to remove all the dry dirt and dust on this piece. This Swiffer or similar, I think I bought mine at the dollar store, is soft enough that it won't damage the frame or the painting, and it does a really good job at removing dust, lint, and all the loose dirt and debris. This will prevent grit from scratching the surface later when I start doing the deeper clean. To get right into cleaning that stain, it was time for some wet cleaning. So I gathered my supplies: cotton swabs, cotton pads, lint-free rag, a cup of water, and some mild dish detergent. I figure if this is mild enough for baby ducks, it'll be mild enough to clean a painting. So using a cup of distilled water, I added a few drops of the dish detergent and gave it a mix. Then I dipped my cotton swab and just to make it damp, not totally wet, I just dabbed it on my lint-free cloth. I wanted a damp cotton swab, not a soaking wet one. Then I tested a tiny corner using very light pressure. Just want to say, never clean an entire painting without testing first. You could just damage the whole thing. So just choose a tiny, inconspicuous area. If you remove the frame, the side of the painting is a great idea. However, I didn't remove the frame for this one. But if the color comes off or starts smudging really badly, just stop. But in my case, the dirt lifted beautifully, and the colors underneath were starting to shine. Working in small sections, I would lightly dampen a cotton pad or a cotton swab and gently roll it across the surface. I switched cotton pads and cotton swabs quite often because once they got dirty, a little bit of the dirt on them, I didn't want to keep rubbing and just putting that dirt on another area of the canvas. So make sure that you have quite a few cotton pads and swabs on hand. About halfway through, I started using a soft lint-free rag with my finger. And I like this even better because I could feel the exact pressure I was using and the texture of the painting under my fingers. So I worked in tiny sections, taking my time to go over the area where the spill stain was more stubborn. And this step alone brought the painting back to life, but it did take some time. I didn't rush this process. After I was happy with my cleaning results, I let the painting dry completely overnight. The next morning I came down and it was time to prep the canvas for repair. I needed something flat and solid to put the painting on. So I found this wooden box that was the perfect height and a really good size as well. I covered it with plastic wrap so the glue wouldn't seep through and adhere the box to the painting. Parchment paper, wax paper, plastic, any of these will work. I flipped the painting face down on the plastic wrapped box and carefully nudged the torn edges together so they met as naturally and best as possible. Then using an acid-free PVA glue and an artist brush, I added glue on and around the two tears. Using some leftover canvas, I cut two patches slightly larger than the two tears in the canvas. And then using my artist brush, I applied a thin layer of the glue to the patch and then placed it over the tear on the back of the canvas. You may notice that I cut the canvas round instead of square because one of the YouTube videos I was watching said that it stays glued down better when the edges are rounded. It actually makes sense because there's no corners that can lift, so I thought I would give this a try. Once I had both patches in place and I covered them with a layer of glue as well, I covered it with plastic wrap and weighed everything down with books. I let it dry for 12 hours, but however, if you have the extra time, I think a good 24 or 48 hours is not a bad idea. The longer you leave it, the better. Once dry, I flipped the painting right side up. The tear edges were still slightly visible, but it already looked so much better. And I would just add, if you have any gesso, a thin layer applied to the remaining tear could really plump out the canvas even further. I didn't have any, yet I was pretty pleased with how it all came together. So for some touch-up paint, I used some water-based mineral paint that I had on hand that closely matched the surrounding colors on and around the tear as best I could. I brought out my tiny fine artist brush for the detailing of filling in the glued up tear. And then I used a larger artist brush to blend and feather the edges, remembering the whole time less is more. The goal wasn't perfection. It was to create visual harmony and blend as best as I could. After I had finished all the touch-up paint, I let everything dry. And at this point, if you'd like extra protection, you can apply a varnish, but this is optional for decorative pieces. I left my painting as is. And now it was time I stepped back and admired the transformation. This was a real trash to treasure upcycle, and I am thrilled with how this painting cleaned up. Just as a reminder, here's the before. And here's the after, hanging proud in my bedroom. I hope this trash to treasure floral painting has inspired you. If you've ever hesitated to bring something home because it looks too far gone, remember this little painting. A little patience, a gentle touch, and the willingness to see potential where others may not. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Also, feel free to like and subscribe here on YouTube and hit that notification bell so you're notified every time we have a new project. Have a fabulous week, my friends.